This is the BEnergyAware Podcast. Hi, and welcome back to the BEnergyAware Podcast. Today, we continue with part 2 of the Top 10 Countdown for 2021, episode number 5 to episode number 1. So here they are. Number 5 is Holding the Child Within. Here it is. I want to talk a little bit about the inner child work. No matter how many tools we know and use, nothing provides as much healing as inner child work does. To do the inner child work is not easy. Main reason being that when certain situations arise, we get so triggered and take things personally, or we get so fearful that we forget that there is a simple solution. If we're feeling deeply upset, or even more so if we start to feel out of control, then this is exactly the time to take care of the child that's within us. Getting emotional is fine, but if we get overly emotional to the point of overwhelm, or so deeply scared that it feels terrifying and we start to panic, this is where the wounded child comes out. And if left unattended by us, it completely takes over and creates an even bigger mess. In those moments, we need to hold the child without judgment and let the child know that he or she is safe and that we, not the child, that we are going to take care of things. The child mainly wants their feelings to be acknowledged and wants to feel safe. Many times the child needs to hear that it is okay to be feeling however they are feeling and whatever they are feeling. They need to know that it's okay. One other thing to point out is that if we don't make or take the time regularly to be with our inner child, it's going to be much harder for us to stay steady through life's unpredictable events. And we might also have more of those sudden unpleasant events happening to us. Sometimes all the child needs from us is for us to be present with them, to spend time with them, and give them our full attention. Even just a minute or two can be enough. They just want to know and feel that we care. The child also needs to feel his or her feelings and needs to do so in a safe environment so that they can let go of those feelings. And that's how we heal. So basically, what all this that I've mentioned so far means is that we are going to continue to have unpleasant events, situations, and interactions happen to us until we completely feel everything there is to feel and release everything that needs to be released in regards to every traumatizing event that happened to us in the past. And if those unpleasant situations don't happen to us directly, they will happen to those closest to us, and we are going to get affected by them. No way to avoid it. So let's do the inner child work and do it regularly and consistently until we fully heal. It truly is an important part of our daily self love, self care, and self nourishment. Okay, next one. Number 4 is Breathwork for Better Health with Jen Broyles. Here I've decided to include just a short breathwork tutorial which Jen did at the end of our conversation. For the full episode, please follow the link in the description.
All right. So we're going to do a short 10-minute breathwork tutorial, and I'm going to explain just real quickly what we'll be doing. So again, we'll be starting with the rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing, and the rhythm that we'll be breathing in is in for two and out for two. So it's a little faster pace. This is kind of an energizing style of breath work, but it's very balancing to the nervous system. So it's also still great for reducing stress and kind of calming the nervous system. So you'll breathe in through the nose for two and out through the mouth for two. You'll hear counting and breathing in the music. It'll go in, two, out, two, in, two, out, two. And then we're going to do 2 breath holds. The first breath hold, when we get to that point, you'll hear me say, take a big breath fully in and fully out. You'll exhale all the air in your lungs and hold your breath. Just hold your breath for as long as you can. If at any point you need to take a breath, just take a quick breath in through the nose and out through the mouth and continue to hold the breath. And do that as many times as you need during this breath hold. And then we'll go straight back into the rhythmic breathing. You'll hear the music pick up, you'll hear the counting start back. Into, out, two, into, out, two. And then we'll do a second breath hold. And so you'll hear me say again, take a big breath fully in and fully out, exhaling all the air and holding your breath. Again, if you need to take a breath at any point, just take that quick inhale and exhale and continue to hold. And then this time, after we've held our breath for a little while on the exhale, I'm going to invite you to take a big breath fully in and hold your breath on the inhale. And at the same time, we're going to do what's called a Mula Bandha lock. So you're going to contract your pelvic floor muscles, kind of like you're holding in your urine, and just contract those muscles. And we are going to be moving energy. We're going to be moving some of this root chakra energy, and imagine it going up the spine into the midbrain. And just hold your breath on the inhale while you're contracting up those pelvic floor muscles, and visualize this energy moving up into the brain. And this is a very energizing and exciting experience. It's creating a rush of blood flow and oxygen to the brain. It helps stimulate those feel good neurotransmitters of serotonin and dopamine. And so you'll just hold your breath here for a short period of time. And then I'll say exhale completely. And then you'll just go back to your normal relaxed breathing and we will be finished. So that's what we'll do. It'll take about 10 minutes. Make sure you're in a comfortable, safe space, no distractions. Don't do this if you're driving or anything like that. You can do this sitting up or lying down. I'm going to start us off with just a real short, about minute and a half meditation, and we'll go straight into the breathing. All right. So here we go. With your eyes closed, imagine a sparkling white light entering your body from the top of your head every time you breathe in. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. This vibrant white light, this positive, radiant energy. It's restorative, refreshing, healing, and uplifting. See this light flowing through the top of your head every time you breathe in. And see it flowing throughout your body. Filling your body with this healing, radiant white light. Continue to cultivate this light flowing throughout as we begin to breathe in beats. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathing in light. Imagine you're drawing in light all the way in through your nose, through your brain, sending a circuit of gold and white light all the way around your body, activating healing, nourishing every cell, turning on your inner magnetism, your creative potential. Breathe in light. Breathe in light. Breathe out love. Breathe in light. Breathe out liberation. Breathe in healing light. Now take a big breath fully in and fully out. Exhaling all the remaining air in your lungs and holding your breath. Enjoy this moment of stillness as you go deep into a meditative state. If you need to take a breath, just take a quick inhale and exhale. Continue to hold, going back into that moment of deep relaxation. This allows the thought files to reassemble, giving you a sense of freedom, clarity, and joy. Bringing awareness to these good feelings and good sensations, to all this healing light energy you've brought into your body, healing and nourishing every cell as you go deeper and deeper within your own mind. Enjoy the bliss. Let's begin to breathe in beats. Breathe in light. Breathe out love. Connect to your being. Connect to the breath, the rhythm of life. Connect deeply to your higher self, divine intelligence. Connect to the breath. Waking up the treasure house that lies within your heart, your connection to the universe and everything in it, your source of deep intuition, insight, love. Breathe in light. sacred sound of your own breath. Breathe in light. Now take a deep breath fully in and fully out. Exhaling all the air and holding your breath. Going back into that moment of deep stillness, inner bliss, and meditation as you connect to the essence of your soul. You are transcendent. You are brilliant. You are limitless. You are free. You are infinite. This is your true nature, a place of no boundaries, a place where you are met by the divine, fully embraced, seen, understood. This place where you can experience oneness, where all things become possible. And when you get that big urge to breathe, take a big breath fully in. Hold. Squeeze the mula bandha, contracting those pelvic floor muscles. Imagine that energy shooting up from your root chakra, up your spine, into the midbrain. Focus on your third eye. Witness the healing white lights radiating. Hold your breath for as long as is comfortable. And then exhale with a sigh of good feelings. Turning to normal, relaxed breathing. Coming back into the room, wiggling your fingers and toes. And in your own time, allowing your eyes to flutter open. Much love and light for your day ahead.
Next, we have number 3, which is zero expectations. That one really got us thinking about detachment and how to approach it. Here it is. In life, the less expectations we have, the better. If we manage to have no expectations, well, that puts us in a really good position. It's okay to have hopes. It's okay to have goals and dreams. But expectations? No. In my opinion, That's not a good thing. I first of all want to talk about the expectations we put on ourselves. Those are the worst ones, and they make life a lot less fun and a lot more frustrating and draining. We can turn our life into a nightmare by putting expectations on ourselves. Why do we do it? I guess it's a learned thing that we got from our families and our surroundings. It's a hard habit to get rid of, but we must if we are going to be happy and healthy and productive. We could even call these expectations unreasonable demands. Why does this or that have to be done perfectly? And why is achieving this so important to us? Why couldn't it be imperfect? And why wouldn't we just enjoy it the way it is? And if we want to improve on it, why wouldn't we give ourselves more time? Why does it have to be now? I know when you have goals that it's quite common to expect results. In a society that has taught you that the only way to achieve is to compete. And I know people want to achieve and they want results, which is fine. But if we are the ones that determine when and how, then I feel if we truly care about ourselves, we are not going to put pressure on ourselves. And yes, I understand there are timelines to follow, but they can be reasonable. It is the quality and enjoyment that counts today, not the quantity or speed. So, zero expectations, to me, means a happy and enjoyable life, where we get to experience the good things that our parents and grandparents didn't experience. And if we are being true to ourselves, we might be able to accomplish much more than they ever dreamed of. Also, we can define what success is for us. Or even more importantly, we can choose how we want to feel during the process and at the end of it. No need to do things the hard way. No need to do that which doesn't work. Next one is number 2, Thriving and Growing as Highly Sensitive People with Dr. Tracy Cooper. A lot of people listen to this one. It gives a really good insight into many challenges that highly sensitive people face on a daily basis. This is just a short clip. For the full episode, see the link in the description. So, thriving and growing as highly sensitive people, that asks a lot of us. I mean, it's quite a task.
It's quite a task, but we're also, as highly sensitive people, usually quite uh, healthily endowed with developmental potential. We're usually high in developmental potential. We're people with deep minds and good hearts, as Elaine Aron says. And you can do quite a bit with that in the world. But how do you thrive and how do you flourish in the world? I think one of the ways is, the flow experience. Seek out flow experiences. Positive psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, he talked about the flow experience a lot. So we need to frequently have those experiences where we lose ourselves, but where we also grow from the process from each one of those experiences. And the flow experience can be had really doing almost anything. Anything can be a flow experience where you can lose yourself in. It doesn't have to be, creating a very artistic production. It could be any activity. You can have a flow experience washing the dishes. It's about being in the present moment. It's about being mindful. It's about letting all the anxiety fall away while you're focused on the task at hand and you're bringing your capabilities to bear. And it's a challenging task, but it's not overly challenging. But it's also not a mundane routine task. So it's a channel kind of between boredom and anxiety that is the flow channel. So staying in that flow channel and looking for those flow experiences, things that scare you a little bit, that cause you to push yourself a little bit, but which you can achieve if you try and you push yourself and you have to stretch to grow. That's a big part of it for highly sensitive people, because we have that. We may not all be gifted, but we all have pretty good developmental potential. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a sensitive person that doesn't have that potential, because they do have that deep mind. they do have that reflective capacity. They are generally more open to new experiences. So they're absorbing more from the environment, internally and externally. So we're processing more than less sensitive people. That makes you a broader person with a broader range of experiences and possibilities. So kind of by nature, you're creative by nature. By description, the trait is creative. But what you do with that is always up to you.
What's your opinion on meditation, and have you found anything there that you like, that is of benefit to you? Do you have a personal practice of yours, a meditation practice?
I do actually, and I've tried many different things. And what really works for me is being in nature. And I like to walk every single day. I like to walk. And part of that is I very intentionally focus on the present moment. So when I'm walking, I'm listening, just being neutral though, but I'm very open to what's going to come into my field of vision or what sounds I'm going to hear, because I walk by a river. So there's always something different that's surprising that I'm going to see. Right now it's snow. So there's some beautiful scenery that I might come across that I didn't recognize before another time of year. So walking for me, not power walking or race walking or anything, but walking at a speed that's very comfortable and kind of tuning out my thoughts and allowing them to just flow, I think really works for me as a meditative practice, because I always feel calmer and better. And I need it. I need that every day in a sense. As a younger person, I spent a lot of time reading. Books were my kind of solitude. And I spent a lot of time drawing. I was always artistically gifted. So I could draw, I could paint, I could do all kinds of things like that. And losing myself in drawing, I think, and really drawing itself, that's another great point I should make, that drawing to me has always been a way that I can learn about anything in the world. If I can draw it, I can learn about it, because it is a meditative practice in and of itself, because you have to focus to a certain extent on what you're doing, but also be very open to what happens as a matter of distilling down your subject and your topic. So I think there's many different ways to practice, to have meditative practices, and they're an integral part of self-care. If we need to have those practices, whether it's sitting meditation or walking meditation or chanting or some other practice, maybe it's music, maybe you really feel something or some connection from that. I think it's finding something you really connect with that takes you out of yourself for a little while. For me, these days, it just happens to be walking. But I also feel the same way with creating. When I'm engaged in building something or creating something, there's something about that. It's the flow experience, but it's also being fully in that present moment. And all of my other anxieties and concerns really fall away, where I can just be in that moment. And if I'm just left to my own devices completely and don't have anything to do for a couple of days, if everybody's gone and it's just me at home, I'll eventually start just making stuff. I'll eventually start creating. That's who I am at my core, is a creator. It's endemic to me. It's inherent to me. So it becomes a meditative practice because I can just absolutely be who I am. And it doesn't necessarily involve absolute quiet. It involves being who you are absolutely at your core. And finding that still point is really important, because then you know how you can retreat to that when you need to.
And the last episode in the part 2 of our top 10 countdown for 2021 is number 1, Highly Sensitive Men, with William Allen. 2 highly sensitive men having a heart-to-heart conversation. William and I touched on quite a few things that both highly sensitive and non-highly sensitive people can find equally interesting. Again, this is just a short clip that I've chosen for this countdown. For the full episode, follow the link in the description. Is there any message you would like to give to highly sensitive men out there right now?
Well, someone asked me, let me kind of back up a minute. Someone asked me, what's your favorite chapter in the book, right? And my favorite chapter in the book is the last chapter, which is the shortest chapter by far. And it was a message basically about the journey of being an HSP man or an HSP male. And what I would say to any HSP male is, if you're confused or you're not sure about the trait, or even if you feel comfortable embracing the trait, study it, read. There's lots of forums and places you can go to interact with other people. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to embrace it, because you won't be happy unless you do. And I will say this, that when you do that, when you do embrace it, it's going to be okay. Everything will be okay. It'll start to fit, it'll start to make sense, and you'll start to see things that you didn't see before about you and about your world. So that last chapter of the book, I think, really sums it up for me about being an HSP man is a good thing. And I really feel like after having written the book, it made me feel more comfortable about it, and made me feel like, you know what, from here on, I'm not backing down on this. I'm going to stand up for HSP men and HSPs generally. And I want to promote the trait and make sure that people understand that it's a good thing. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, all those years I kept thinking, I want to deny that I'm a sensitive man. The minute I started admitting it, the world just opened up to me. People came up to me and are very open about this. And you'd be surprised how many people want to know about it, even if they're not HSPs. So that's been a real refreshing thing to find out. So for all HSP men, hang in there, keep learning, keep reading, keep embracing who you are, and find your authentic self. That's so important.
Okay, this is it. This concludes our top 10 countdown of 2021 on the BEnergyAware Podcast. Looking forward to creating more episodes in 2022. If you like this podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, get in touch with me with any thoughts or suggestions. Message me on Instagram at BEnergyAware or through my website, BEnergyAware.com. And please share this podcast with your friends. I look forward to being here with you again.